Do you ever look at the black belts and wonder, how do they never get their guard passed? And then you ask yourself, can I even get that good? Well, I bet you $176 that this video will make your guard just like off the gray.
You shall not pass!
Why am I so confident? Well, because when I finally understood this concept, I finally stopped getting my guard passed and everything changed. In this video, I'll share the actual concept that helped my guard be 100 times harder to pass and helped one of my athletes become an IBJJF Pan Champion with only a year of training. So let's take a look at Colby. Colby is what you'd call a white belt. And Colby is super happy to be doing jiu-jitsu, but like most white belts, he needs help. But when it comes down to training and trying new techniques and sparring, Colby is always ready to go.
You want to spar?
Really?
Me? Yes! Let's go!
Maybe too excited.
You want to spar? Me? Yes. I would love to spar.
And being excited is a good thing. Well, until this happens. Colby's always excited to spar and always willing to try new techniques, even ones he's maybe seen on Instagram. But Colby keeps getting his guard passed. And for Colby to keep growing and improving and be a black belt one day, he needs our help.
The other day I did the kids class instead of the adults class because I keep getting my guard passed. I think it might have been worse, honestly. They were passing my guard the entire time. I need help. Something needs to change because I can't take any more of this.
White belts.
So if Colby wouldn't have ran away in that moment, Ethan may have actually given him a response like, Colby, you need to frame with your arms and your legs. And Ethan would be 100% right. The problem is though, Colby still would be getting his guard passed over and over and over again. And his frustration is gonna build, build, and build. So what on earth is Colby missing even with framing that's still getting his guard passed? Well, the concept that would actually help Colby stop getting his guard passed is actually quite simple. 99% of the time, Colby framing at the hips and knees is a guaranteed way for him to get his guard passed. So where on earth does Colby frame? We have to keep in mind that one of our main goals in preventing the guard pass is preventing chest-to-chest connection. No matter how well we frame on our opponent's hips or on our opponent's legs, they're still gonna be able to get chest-to-chest connection and pass our guard. But when we actually frame on our opponent's shoulder and bicep, we're gonna be able to have a better chance of achieving this goal in preventing chest-to-chest connection, which then prevents the guard pass. Now, framing on the shoulder and bicep isn't gonna make your guard magically unpassable, but what it will do is help eliminate 77% of the guard passes you're gonna see with white belts and through the majority of the color belts. But for you to understand how to actually frame in a way that's gonna help you not get your guard passed, we really need to take a look at what our legs are doing, or at least what they should be doing. I mean, they do occupy the lower half of our body. So the legs have a slightly more fun level of complexity to them. So first, let's take a look at our knees and feet. In general, our knees and our feet play a very big role when it comes to framing. Our legs are gonna have a lot more freedom than what our upper body are gonna have. As we covered before, our hands are gonna really wanna be framing on the shoulder and the bicep to prevent that chest-to-chest connection. But our legs, more specifically our knees and our feet, can frame at the hip, they can frame at the shoulder, and they can frame at the bicep. Now, the real question is, why can our legs frame on the hips, but our hands can't? Well, in order to understand this, we really need to take a step back and remember, our primary goal when it comes to preventing the guard pass is preventing chest-to-chest connection. If our feet or knees frame on the hips, there's no possible way that our partner can really get chest-to-chest connection. But if we frame at the hips with our hands, it's almost impossible for us to prevent that chest-to-chest connection. In reality, there are so many other tips and tricks you could do to have better guard retention. It's completely overwhelming as a newer or more experienced white belt or even color belt. So what do? Well, the absolute best approach you could take is the exact same approach you should take in cleaning your house. Hear me out. If you clean sporadically through your whole house for an hour, you're gonna take a step back and feel like you've probably made absolutely no progress. So what should you do? Well, you pick one area of your house and you spend that exact amount of time that you would spontaneously cleaning everywhere, but in one area. So once you take a step back after an hour, you've done the same amount of cleaning, but you can actually feel and see the progress you've made in cleaning your house. So what's our one room that we can focus on cleaning? Or in this case, what's our one guard or area that we could focus on in improving our guard retention from? That's totally up to you. But in order for you to actually stop getting your guard passed, we really need to take a look about how long it's gonna take you to understand how to better retain your guard. Well, sometimes it takes 2 seconds just by framing in a different spot, or you stop framing at the knees and the hips, but it's less of like, how long until I fix this problem? And it's more of like, how do I continue to improve from here? So when you're working on applying these concepts, I'd really challenge you to ask yourself, what went well and what do I need to do better next time? Focus not on perfection, but focus on progress. Which brings me to my final point. 10xing our progress in jiu-jitsu is by understanding this concept. It's progress over perfection. Being a perfectionist is just another form of insecurity, which is something that we all have. But when we shift our goals from it has to be perfect, or I have to win or I lose, which obviously, yes, that's how games work. But instead, we ask ourselves, did I actually make progress in this position? The one phrase that I repeat to all of our athletes at all levels at our gym is better is better. The idea of perfection in our eyes is bad because it's unobtainable. And let's say you somehow achieve perfection, there's no more room to improve. And one of the big joys of the jiu-jitsu journey is the actual feeling and knowing that you're improving. Now, in order for you to truly get that 10x improvement rate in your jiu-jitsu, I really need to give you guys a secret sauce that all the top level guys use to hack their way to the top of the game. But this time, I'm actually gonna bet you $502 that you can guess what I'm gonna say, but you're still gonna get it wrong. What on earth do I mean by that? Well, here's the true secret to make your guard impassable. It's situational rounds. But hear me out, because when you hear that, you think you know what I mean, but I promise you don't. When we say situational rounds, I'm actually talking about varied levels of resistance. It's not starting a position and somebody goes 110%, which can be a part of your training. But what I'm talking about specifically is varied levels in resistance based off the position that you're actually trying to get better at. So your partner is going to give you a little bit of resistance, a little bit more, and a little bit more, and give you verbal direct feedback on what they're doing, what they actually feel based off what reaction you're giving them. And that is the secret sauce of getting better. The thing is, you guys now understand the number one reason why your guard was getting passed. You now have a revolutionary concept that completely changed my jiu-jitsu to help you keep progressing. But the problem is those upper belts are still gonna be killing your chances of scoring points and finding the submissions. So make sure you guys click this video right here to make sure they don't ruin your chances of scoring points and finding those submissions.
But liquor, our prices have never been lower.